Thanks. So, welcome one and all. How's everyone doing? We're good. Beautiful summer day. By the way, something that might be useful to know, this is good for anyone to know, especially when you sit in meditation sessions, or for that matter in concerts or anything else, if you get a cough that's hard to control, there's an acupuncture point, an acupressure point here in the deepest part of your chin, like right in the middle of the dimple. And you take your second or your third finger, kind of curve it so it's like strong, and press it, hold, like the pad of the finger. And just hold that point for a little bit, and that tends to relax and open up that whole bronchial area. Yeah. And so that'll reduce, especially when you have those like spasmodic coughs.
It's like allergies for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Along that score, from my Kung Fu teacher, if you ever get cold, sometimes you're just too chilly, or the wind in the back, here, the bottom part of your ear here, you just kind of massage it like 50 times, and it'll warm you, and you'll sometimes feel
50 times massage the earlobes.
Yeah, down to the
for
lower
cold.
part.
Cool.
That's a fun fact.
Another useful trick. One I used to do when I first came to the Pingree School, where I taught for a bunch of years in New Jersey, and they made me an assistant winter track coach. I knew nothing about track, and I hated winter. And this was New Jersey winters, and the kids were running around the track, so they were warmed up. I was standing there freezing my tchotchkes off. But there is a yogic trick, which is that the left nostril stream is the cooling breath, and the right stream is the warming breath. So I would just be standing there out on the field, holding my left nostril closed, so I'm just breathing through the right, and I would warm up. This is true for moods also, like when you want to be more kind of fired up, you favor the fiery breath. When you want to be more cooled out, you use the cooling breath. And there's this stuff in the ancient lore, these old texts of India. It gets very complex. Like when you're conceiving a child, supposedly you can determine the gender of the child by which nostril the father's breathing through and which nostril the mother's breathing through at the moment of getting together. So, hold on, honey. Wait a minute.
And all this time I thought, if you're lying north and south, you'll conceive a boy. If you're lying east and west, you'll conceive a girl.
All this time you've been lying which way, and you haven't conceived anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, lying alone doesn't work very well.
You need to go back and read the instructions, my friend.
No, thank you.
Unless you're going for immaculate conception.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start tonight. How should we start in tonight? Let's start tonight with singing descending fifths. Okay? One of my favorite on-ramps into meditation. So those of you who've done this before, you can remember what a descending fifth sounds like by thinking of the beginning of the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, ah, or Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, or Blue Moon. And when you do this at home, you do it as low as you can and still have a nice full tone on that second note. So, if you're a baritone, it'll be, that's a little too low. And if you're a soprano, it'll be up here somewhere. So we'll do it somewhere in the middle where we can all do it. So, please take a deep breath. that pitch okay with everyone? Okay, so on that first note, you have some sense of like the energy is up here somewhere, and then as you just slide, melt, ooze down into that second note, it's like your energy, your beingness just kind of melts down and spreads out, just going out and out and out beyond the horizon, out into space. And if you practice this for a while, your breath starts getting better. You can hold that second tone for a long time, and time kind of goes away, and you're really just kind of hanging out in eternity on that tone. So that's a good entree for meditation. So let's take a night, really, on the inhale, really expand your ribs, expand the whole trunk. Inhale. 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 And one more. So that was the hard part. Now nothing to do but hang out in that space that we've been singing into, where we already are. This space of awareness, this space of just beingness, where we always are, even when it's overlooked. Sounds come and go. Sensations come and go. Thoughts and feelings come and go. Perfect. All just coming and going on their own. With no one in charge. Certainly not us. Nothing for us to do but be the open space of awareness within which everything comes and goes. And for that we have no choice, so there's nothing to do. Just remain as you are. not trying to concentrate or still the mind or any other project that we might conceive of. Just the opposite. This is time to abandon all our projects. Throw them into the fire. Big happy bonfire. And just remain in this happy space of freedom. This space of freedom where we're unencumbered by projects. And when I say happy space, it doesn't mean we're trying to be happy. Throw that into the fire. That's another project. Not trying to feel spiritual or blissful or anything else. And when we say throw it into the fire, that doesn't mean try to make it go away. It means just let go of your engagement with it. Just remain as open and free and neutral as space, which you already are. But completely rest in that, completely give up into that, melt into that. Anytime you realize you've been engaged in some complicated thought story, that's fine, no problem. There's nothing to get rid of. There's nowhere to come back to. Just relax your grip on it. Don't worry whether it remains or goes away. Anything you find yourself engaging with, resisting, clutching, all these forms of engagement. Just relax your grip on it, relax back into yourself. Yourself, which is open, space-like, free awareness. Just as space is not encumbered by any of the objects that appear in space, this awareness which you are, which is like space, is not encumbered by anything that appears in it. Just notice that. Nothing damages the sky. Nothing damages awareness. So there's nothing to do about any of the phenomena that come and go. Just rest as open, space-like awareness, as you already are. And give up completely into it. Surrender into it. Now, if I were to ring the bell right now for the end of the meditation, is there something you're doing that you would stop doing? Some little bit of effort or subtle activity that's like meditating, and then you're going to go, now I can stop meditating. If so, stop now. Drop it now. Throw that into the fire. And just hang out in this empty space of freedom that remains when we throw our efforts and everything else into the fire. So keep the eyes closed and take a few minutes to bring the body back to a more active state. When the body feels ready, you can slowly open the eyes.